Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to do a quick teardown of this old school Windows XP gaming PC. I think this thing was bought in 2008. Recently I picked up this from my brother-in-law. He donated this piece of a PC to my channel. The reason why is just this thing is broken. We tried to fix it, but unfortunately the mainboard is completely fried. But we're going to do a quick teardown of the PC because I want to use a lot of these parts again. So to begin with, we have like a very interesting CPU cooler in here, and of course the case itself. I really like it because it's an old school one, and with my next build for Windows XP PCs, it's going to be freaking epic. Another feature I really love about the case is the front door. And behind door number one, we're going to find ourselves some old school DVD burners. Like, I think like most people don't even have like disk drives in their PCs anymore. So this is going to be like an absolutely epic nostalgia build in the future. So he bought the PC from the company called Alternate. They still exist over here in the Netherlands. And here you can see like the production date or the assembly date was quite a long time ago. So in the past we did some repairs on this PC because this is not the first time that he had some issues. I will talk about it later on in this video. But what we're going to do today is going to do a quick teardown. And yeah, later on we're going to do a building of the new Windows XP PC. And of course we're going to do that together, but first we need to rip this thing apart. So let's remove the screws and let's remove the freaking side panel. So this was one of the generation of cases that you like, we were getting into the modding scene. Nowadays everything is RGB and stuff like that, but back in the day it was not like that fancy. So here we do have like the first fan that comes at the side panel. We're still using Molex connector, no RGB fancy stuff over here. So let's remove this one. And we're going to remove this too, because we need to like unplug it fully from the power supply. So we're going to remove the freaking panel. Okay, the things that we did replace is the power supply in the past. I don't know what like kind of brand it was, but now we're using Hansky. This thing is still working very well. But the main board isn't doing anything anymore. It's not even giving any posting of the BIOS. The CPU cooler is one of my favorite ones, the RTX 7. It's a very cool CPU cooler, very nice one. And of course we also changed out the RAM modules, and it also has been replaced a couple of times now. So, and then we're not going to get the original VGA card, because the original GPU was an 8800 GTS. I think it was on 320 megabyte, but that thing like died off a very long time ago. Okay, he removed all of his hard drive, which is personal data, of course, I don't need it. So here we're going to get ourselves the flat cable, like that is going to be even some old school stuff, like flat cables, who remembers those. Then we're going to get like the GPU. The GPU has been replaced with something else. That was the 560 GTX from Nvidia. Pretty damn cool card, mid-range, completely overkill for this system because the mainboard, so far I understand, doesn't even support it anymore. So this one is going to be in the bin of all VGA cards that we're going to test out in the future. Alright, so next we're going to remove the modules. So in here we're going to get the core share, but it was not the original one. Funny thing is, like, these were the ones I've tested for the system, but that wasn't the case and not the problem. That's the reason why we figured out the mainboard is absolutely broken. Let's remove all of these things too, because we need to remove the power supply later on. This is not a modular power supply, it's the old school one, like everything this was attached to this. This is some old school shizzle. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we need to remove all of the plugs and cables from the main board. So that's what we're going to do. I think that was the 24 pin that we need to remove. So let's see, we have like this cable nightmare. Remove all of the cables from the DVD drives. The Molex, oh man, this is so old school. I can't get it out. I can still remember like these freaking suckers were so hard to like get out of it. Then we need to have the 4 pins over here for the CPU. I think I got most of them now. So that is done, so let's remove the power supply. Alright, so let's remove the 4 screws over here. And let's remove the power supply. Yeah, the Zellman or other brands I've used before. At the moment I'm using Be Quiet because I'm a big fan of those. They are quiet, but also like very nice and very high quality. But of course, like magic, everything comes with the price, and it's the same with the freaking Be Quiet power supply. Alright, so let's see if we can remove this bloody thing. We can remove the freaking CPU cooler if I want to, but I don't going to do it like this. I'm just going to remove it like this. So it seems to be that this power supply is a 700 watts, so that is not too shabby. Alright, so let's see, let's remove all the SATA cables and the flat cables. Everything needs to be disassembled from the main board. And I think I will leave the CPU cooler on here. So now we're going to remove the main board, and let's see You know what? Let's remove this thing. It's quite annoying. So the next thing that we need to do is remove all of the screws here, there. And the thing that we're going to do in the future, I do have like some main boards on stock. It's from the same brand, by the way. And what we're going to do is like replace it and rebuild this PC with maximum power. Alright, so just going to leave it over there. Let's plug out the other cables like the USB, audio, and of course all the cables for the LEDs and the on and off switches. And let's lift this bad boy out. Okay, so this main board is the P5NG. And it's a quite interesting model and that like a lot of great options in combination with the SLI. Back in the day, like that was a big thing. I think it's still cool. But again, like that's one of those things that was supported by this freaking main board. But let's remove the freaking cooler because this thing is going to be in my bin of spare parts and we're going to reuse it in the future. Okay, what I really like about these coolers, they're like super easy to remove. You just twist and pull it out and you unlock the CPU, like the contraption. And here you can see like one of these things were not attached correctly because I can really pull it out and I only like turned one of these. But in the end, while you're looking at everything, I must say that it's a quite interesting construction. And when you're looking at some of those modern ones, you need to like have a lot of screws, brackets, stuff like that. The cooling paste have seen the best time. I think they have never replaced it now and in the future, so that has been on there like from 2008. So yeah, let's take a cleaning cloth and let's clean everything up, because that's one of the things that you need to, otherwise you get the thermal paste on your fingers. It's going to be a sticky situation. I think it's safe to say that the Q6600 is an absolutely nostalgia CPU. The CPU a lot of people will use for a very long time, because Intel did release a lot of different ones, but this thing was like price quality wise just a great CPU. But nowadays of course it's absolutely outdated, but maybe in the future it would be fun to check it out how it holds up when it comes to, for example, emulation. So we're going to like store it back in the motherboard or maybe like put it in a bracket somewhere. But in the end, like this CPU, I think that's one of the two that I'm having. This is going to be like a piece of gaming history when it comes to this very expensive CPU that it was back in the day. So yeah, for now I'm going to put it back in. I cleaned everything up so it looks fantastic and we're going to use it for the next round of videos and rebuilding this beast. Or maybe just use another CPU. Let me know in the comments which CPU you want to see. But in the end, I love to mess around with these old school PCs. I have some spare parts so I can rebuild this old school retro PC. And what should we do with it? Should we install some Windows 7 or shall we just go into the Windows XP retro experience? I would say like, yeah, let me know in the comments. I want to thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.